Hello, my name is Mark Sherwood. In this lesson, I'm going to be talking about another transition point, a point of thinking that can make a big difference in the way you experience your spiritual life. And the point that I want to talk about this time is that God is a supernatural God. Now, I know that there's natural things involved in living our life for God. There's things that we can just decide to do and go ahead and do them. And there's all kinds of behavior and ministry that God has given us the strength in our own natural ability and our physical being to go ahead and just do things. But there's also the supernatural element, the element that God is not just far off somewhere. God is not just somebody who's in the Bible that we hear about, and he did things for people back in the Bible day, but he doesn't do those things anymore. And Jesus was here on earth and he did all kinds of great things, but now he's up in heaven and he doesn't really do those things in our lives anymore. And so what we have when that happens is just that God is out there somewhere. And then I have to live out this life and just focus on the natural things that I can do. And I pray, but really God really doesn't do too much because he's out there somewhere. And if there's some exceptional moment, then maybe he'll answer a prayer in a supernatural way. But see, that type of thinking is that God is out there somewhere else, and that he's not really here, that he's not really in the midst of my circumstances, and that he's not really intervening in my life in a very supernatural way. But God wants to be involved in your life. God wants to hear your prayer and act upon that prayer. When you're sick, he wants to heal you. When there's problems in your life, he wants to intervene. If there's something in your heart that needs to be changed, he wants to be able to come in his power and change that thing in your heart and make it right. He wants to give you not just kind of a natural love and joy and peace that it's up to you to make a decision in and of yourself that you're going to be loving and joyful and peace. But no, he wants to give a supernatural love that's beyond your own ability. He wants to give you a supernatural joy that's not just based on circumstances or trying to think a lot of happy thoughts, but it's because the Spirit of God is working in your heart that he gives that. And he wants to give you peaceful thoughts, not just because you're meditating on a meadow or something like that and you're thinking really peaceful thoughts, but he wants to give that supernatural peace that calms our tendency to have anxiety. And so all those things are supernatural elements of God that if we begin to open our heart to that, he'll begin to move in our life in that way. And a lot of people think, well, I've never seen God work that way before. So, and I've been reading my Bible for a long time, going to church and all kinds of stuff. I've been involved in this religious stuff for a long time, and I just don't see God doing that. But if that's what you're basing who you think God is and the way he is, and you're just basing what you think on your own experiences, well, then you're kind of taking God out of who he says he is in the Bible and what he says in the Bible that he can do in your life. Because God is with us at all times, and God wants to be that supernatural presence that always accompanies us in our lives. So remember, God is a supernatural God that's with you in power.